Okay, here we go, guys. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and this is another bad movie. Yes, this is a franchise that came out in 2008. The first one is 2 hours, so it counts for the series of movies that are long or very long month. And this is one of the biggest stinkers. Yeah, one of the constipations of freaking cinema, and that is the 2008 young adult novel Twilight. Wait, give me a second because I need to process this whole thing. Stephanie Meyer is not a good writer. Like, I did not read the books for these films, so don't ask me if I did. This movie obviously was not meant for me. It's not meant for any guys out there. It's meant for like teenage girls that that read the books and was a fan of the franchise and saw it. I'm saying the same thing that Emer said when he reviewed this franchise a couple years ago, and he didn't even get to Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. But I'm going to get to those. This franchise is just so boring. Like, I don't know what the hell was wrong with Stephanie Meyer when she wrote this freaking vampire fan fiction with her and basically she is Isabella Swan. Let's face it. And this Swan is way worse than Elizabeth the Swan because Elizabeth was just an annoying, loud British chick that I never bought. But Bella is one of the worst Mary Sue characters I have ever seen in this entire freaking cinematic world. She rivals the hobo with unexplaining why every guy in freaking in this town, in this small town that she lives in, is in love with her, and I'm like, and they know her. I'm like, wait a minute, she didn't even introduce herself to you. How do you know who she is? It's not like there were freaking Google searches back in 2008. I mean, there was an internet back then, but Facebook was just coming around the corner, and MySpace was around, but you couldn't know everybody's identity just from a post. But anyway, yeah, this franchise, good God, I cannot watch these movies, especially the first one. I rented this in the library years ago, and I was so bored. I was like, as soon as it started, I'm like, I'm in for a world of pain. And the film is the thing is the film is just not sexy. I know they're like, oh, Robert Pattinson, he's Edward Cullen, he's the most beautiful vampire in the world. He's a emo douchebag that drinks the blood of animals and says he's a monster, and yet Bella still wants to be with him. Why? I don't know, because this girl's completely freaking stupid. He saves her a couple times here and there from a truck is going to hit her and or whatever, or car is going to hit her or a van or whatever, and this movie's so forgettable. That's why I'm trying to block it from my mind. I saw this, it was painful. The film also is overly saturated. Like the actors' faces are like wider than they usually are. I don't know what the hell was wrong with the director that did this. I know it's a woman. Hey, Patty Jenkins did not make Wonder Woman look like a freaking ghost. Like, Kristen Stewart's face is like so bright. It looks like she's dead already before the fourth movie, and it doesn't make any sense. Everybody's whiter than white in this movie. It's not just the makeup; it's the bad lighting. And the film looks like it looks boring. Like them going through the trees and him sparkling. Yeah, the gayest thing you could have done to a vampire. They don't die in the sun. They're not immune. They're not weak to garlic or freaking sunlight or stakes in the heart. What kills them is that they have to take off their heads and like burn it. Interesting premise, but you made their faces sparkle in the sunlight like freaking glitter or a disco ball or a freaking a river in the morning of a sunny day. Why? What kind of gay bullshit is this, Stephanie Meyer, that you would let vampires, Dracula, Blade, freaking Nosferatu, you turn them from dark, creatures of the night and daywalkers like Blade, and you turn them into pussified emo bitches with sparkling faces and I talk like this. You shouldn't be with me. I'm a vampire. I'm a monster. I'm gonna eat. I want your blood. And I swear, but Robert Pattinson, the whole freaking movie, he has this look on his face that he's just constipated. And he did this for the money. Let's face it. It said it in interviews that he only did this franchise. He hated Edward Cullen's character. I'm like, yeah, because he's a bitch. And he also mistreats the woman that he loves in this franchise. He knocks her into a wall. He bites her arm. He freaking causes her to get into trouble with the freaking Native Americans, which I'll get to that in the second one. I'm like, what is wrong with it? This character sucks, okay? Her and Ray are the same. Granted, Bella doesn't get superpowers until the fifth movie, which I like to laugh at. That's one movie I can at least stomach. But this whole time, like, she's a female lead, just like the hobo, and everybody knows who she is. Well, nowadays we know she has freaking. There's things that she does that are never explained, and why everybody knows her. That's never explained. Just like the hobo with her superpower bullshit, and they're both young teenagers, just like the hobo. They both are chicks with horrible faces that are soulless. Like Kristen Stewart, the whole time she looks like she's gonna cry. It's like, no, what are you talking about? Like the scene where she's in the hospital. No offense, Sean, that she has tubes in her nose, and she it's the scene after whatchamacallit, Cam Gigantit, the blonde head guy, bites her arm and she's starting to die, and then Edward has to like suck the blood out of the venom out of her arm, and they rip them apart. Yeah, she's in a hospital bed with a busted foot and has tubes in her nose, and she's like, even her acting gets even worse. And I'm sorry that this romance is one of the most overrated bullshit romances I've ever seen. I would take the scenes in episode 2 talking about sand and all that, and Anakin and Padme over this any day over this bullshit. I mean, this is why my friend Josh hated probably the romance in, what was it, the second Snow White and the Huntsman movie? Well, just the Huntsman Winter's War, because it's completely forced. This was forced down our freaking throats. Everywhere I went in 2008, there were pictures of Robert Pattinson and Taylor Lautner and freaking Kristen Stewart everywhere. At FYE, at Best Buy, at Target, everywhere you can go, their faces were planted all over the freaking screen and posters and everything. It was just horrible. That was a bad time to be a film buff, because it was after Iron Man and after The Dark Knight and after great movies in 2008, and we get this bullshit, this unsexy, boring, freaking tediously slow-paced freaking movie that nothing happens. Oh, the vampires, how are they different besides they sparkle? They dress in regular clothes. They don't turn into bats. They don't sleep in the nighttime and come. No, they don't sleep in the daytime and come out at night. They don't sleep in coffins. They play baseball in one scene. Why? What is the freaking point of this? It's stupid. The characters are not likable. You got good actors wasted, like Anna Kendrick and freaking Ashley Greene and what's his face? This guy, the guy that was in Supergirl season 1. He's completely wasted as the Doctor. I mean, he's the only character that has kind of a sense of like danger, like saying, "Do this for the family." Nikki Reed's in it. It's a waste of their talent. It really is. And you also have this redheaded chick that doesn't appear until the end of the movie, and she's replaced in Eclipse by Bryce Dallas Howard. This franchise, let's face it, this was not for me. I don't like boring fantasy, dramatic freaking romances with no heart. Nothing happens. It's just a lot of talking. There's no action. There are no werewolves in this one. That's in the sequels. It's just a teen romance that doesn't work. It's completely forced down your throat. Critics were kind to this movie. Granted, a lot of them hated it and say it's bullshit and it's not good, and I agree with that. But a lot of them said that the movie, it gave it like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. This does not deserve half of the critics liking it. This is boring. Unbelievably boring. If you thought that some of the bullshit that we get now of young adult novels like The Maze Runner or The Host or freaking the what was it, Mortal Instruments, I think this is worse. This is one of the worst franchises I've ever seen that wasn't direct to video, because these movies made money. Why? Oh, because teen girls, they got to go see their franchise. No, I'm sorry. The teen girls deserve better than this. We all deserve better than this. These movies are painfully dull and slow paced, and nothing happens, and there's no action. And Bella's inner monologue just gets on my nerves. And like the hobo, I hate the actress. Kristen Stewart is one of the worst actresses I've ever seen. And now that she's a freaky bisexual that doesn't shower, and she doesn't shave her pits, and she's disgusting, and she cheated on her man Robert with a freaking director of Snow White and the Huntsman who isn't even attractive. I'm like, what the hell were you thinking, Kristen? What the hell were you thinking? Making this franchise, and people say she's a one-note actress. I think she is. Her dramas now, I don't buy her. That face of hers, just that face, I want to punch it. I'm sick and tired of her face in cinema. She can't act her way out of a bag. Just like the hobo, they have the same soulless face that I've seen. The with her teeth out. Oh my god, you're beautiful. Beautiful. It's horrible. There's a reason that my friend Brian destroyed this franchise because it's horrible. Don't see this movie. Do not see Twilight from 2008. It was the start of a really bad trend of this emo vampire bullshit that's laughably bad and has horrendous dialogue. Some of the dialogue just doesn't make any sense. The pacing is way too slow. The characters are not memorable. The actors that are good in it are wasted. And it's just, I'd rather see The Lost Boys. At least that's not 2 hours of bullshit. It's not boring either. And it's short. It's like 90 minutes. It goes by quick. This is a chore to get through. And the fact that this spawned 50 Shades of Grey, go fuck yourself, Stephanie Meyer, and the writer of 50 Shades of Grey, because that started as Twilight fan fiction, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see that either because it's worse than this. It's just Twilight with BDSM and bullshit, rape. That's what it is, people. It's just contractual rape. Yeah, and I hate that. I hate that in any movie or show or play. It's just not necessary. Here, there's no rape, but it's a rape of your senses. You see this movie, how ugly it looks and freaking dour, and there's barely a sense of humor in this movie. You have to laugh at how bad it is, because that's the only enjoyment you're going to get. And yeah, what else can I say about Twilight? Yeah, it's not for me. This teen angsty bullshit is not for me. It's not funny. It's boring. The film has no purpose. It just to make money. And I'm like, yeah, you bred on the freaking mentality of young girls, and you should be ashamed of yourself, Stephanie Meyer, and freaking the writers of this freaking movie, and the director that decided, you know what, I'm gonna make everybody's face look pale, so that they have no skin tone. Yeah, that's not what I want. That's why I want to see I don't want to see Red Riding Hood from 2011. It's the same director of Twilight, and it's got the same camera problems and bad pacing, etc. This film is just not for me. I will never buy this movie. It gets special editions that it doesn't deserve. And as much as I don't like the new Star Wars, at least I get good visuals there in Rogue One and in Episode 7. Some of the visuals are good. At least it doesn't look pale and too bright, but it still has a mountain of problems. This has just way more, and it's boring, and it's girly and stupid and badly written and just a horrendous franchise. The only one I like is the last one because it's the finale, and it's laughably bad, but it's still it still has some fun moments to it that I liked and I laughed. But this is the one of the worst. The first one, just no sense of fun at all. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Twilight is a piece of crap. It's one of the worst franchises to come out in like the last 10 years. And the fact that girls ate this up, I don't know what they were thinking. To each his own, but it's not for me. And I don't want to read the books ever because the movies were painful enough. And Stephanie Meyer can go screw herself because she also wrote The Host, and I hated that movie too. And guess what? I'm not going to watch any other movies that she ever writes or touches because she is cinematic poison, just like Kathleen Kennedy and all these other freaking feminazis thinking, oh yeah, we have to have everything with women, 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 even though a man was created first. So fuck you, neo-Nazi freaking super feminist that all you can think about is, oh, women should be just as equal as men. But there's things that we can do, women can't. End of story. Anyway, this is not a bash on women. I love women. I want to be with one day, but not Bella Swan. She's freaking terrible. A manipulative bitch that has no personality and every guy is in love with her. I don't know why. Not a bit of sexiness in her face or in her body. Just nothing. Even personality wise, nothing. So yeah, this movie's a big pile of nothing. Don't watch it. Suck it, Twilight. You're gone from our lives, and hopefully we'll never get a prequel because we don't need any more. And also, 50 Shades of Garbage can suck it as well. Freed is going to be the last one, and I don't want to see any more of this angsty, dark, depressing bullshit because I'm tired of it. I want movies to be more lighthearted, like that movie was, and that movie was, and that movie was, right there. So yeah, my taste, this is not one of them. But anyway, see you in the next video, guys.